This is my country, Uganda. One of the things I like about Uganda are the people. We have over 52 tribes and 52 languages spoken. The languages might be a bit different, but people are so welcoming. It welcomes each and everyone regardless of who you are and where you're from. As I was growing up, I went through a lot, losing both of my parents when I was about 7-8 years. It was really tough. The treasure that I had was art. I used to draw, I used to dance, I used to rap. Growing up, my role models were the dancers and rappers that I used to see on videos. People like Crazy Legs and the Rocksteady Crew, Shrimp and Shabadoo, A Tribe Called Quest, Run DMC, Common, and a lot more. Hip hop was all I had, and it played a very big role in my life. That's why I really want to share it with other people.
In 2006, Abrams Tekia created Breakdance Project Uganda. The dream was to create a workshop teaching kids about b-boy culture. 3 years since creating Breakdance Project Uganda, or BPU, he and a loyal group of teachers work twice a week with any young person with a heart and a desire to learn.
Breakdance Project Uganda is an organization that uses the hip-hop culture to empower youth and uplift communities countrywide. People donate money, we donate b-boying skills, and it has changed a lot of people's lives. A lot of people have become confident because they also have something that they possess, something that belongs to them. A lot of us grew up being called like disadvantaged kids. So this is where our pride is, because this is what they own as people, something that nobody else can take away from them.
Uganda has been called one of the worst places on earth to be a child. A history of poverty, violence, and disease has plagued the country since its colonization. Under the thumb of the British Empire, differences in culture were exploited through violence and oppression. To this day, Uganda remains a country divided by deep prejudice. General Idi Amin Dada took advantage of that during his 8-year dictatorship in the early 70s, leaving 300,000 people dead and driving even more into exile. In resistance to the Southern government, Joseph Kony, a self-proclaimed messiah, created the LRA, the Lord's Resistance Army. For 20 years, the LRA has unleashed a wave of terror on the people of northern Uganda. Those most innocent suffered the greatest.
As a Ugandan citizen, I was hearing about the war in northern Uganda because I'm now 25 years and it's been going on for over 20 years. So that means it started way back when I was 5 years.
I grew up as a kid. At the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, I was a real kid. Coming back from school, playing around over the weekends, helping your parents, and then going to play. But then these kids never had that. All your life is always on tension. You're like, you live for survival. You don't know what is next to you. You don't know whether you are going to be the next kid abducted or the next kid shot on the street. So it was very difficult for the kids here growing up, and I think it affected them so much.
To me, I believe dance is a therapy, you know. Dance is something that can be used to rehabilitate people. Dance is something that can be used to bring people together, bridging different gaps. When people hear about breakdancing and hip-hop or b-boying, all they thought about was something negative, because people have problems here, and you're bringing hip-hop or you're bringing b-boying. How is that going to help? But all we knew was that we can make a change, no matter what.
Breakdance Project Uganda meets 3 times a week at the Sharing Youth Center in Kampala, Uganda's southern capital. Over 100 kids come from all parts of the city to learn breakdance and b-boy culture.
When you get involved with b-boying, dancing to hip-hop music, there's a way it relaxes your mind. With life, we always have stress all the time, you know? It's a constant somehow in Africa here. So hip-hop culture, I like it because it gave me that opportunity to have something that I can do for myself.
If you look at us, we're doing b-boying, but we're trying to put in other elements of dance, like the cultural dances we do here. So we're trying to put in our own elements. Breakdancing inspired me because it needed a lot of creativity to be good there.
A lot of the kids that we teach look up to us as the role models, so we thought and felt it was very important for them to see the people who inspired us. So I invited Crazy Legs of the Rocksteady crew, because Crazy Legs is a big name in hip-hop history. We've been reading about him in magazines, seeing videos of him, and I was very, very happy and surprised when he chose to come. Who has seen Crazy Legs in a video before? Yeah. Well, it's a big surprise and something that is unbelievable, that Crazy Legs from the legendary Rocksteady crew is coming to Kampala. It's coming to Kampala, to Uganda.
The Rocksteady crew channeled the emerging hip-hop culture from the late 70s dance scene, percolating in the Black and Latino neighborhoods of New York. Breaking was about working things out with dance moves, rather than a knife or a gun. Crazy Legs and others introduced mainstream America to b-boy culture through highly publicized dance battles in the streets and clubs. Now an elder statesman himself, Crazy Legs still performs in battles and competitions around the world. B-boys Why Not and Servant Irvin join Legs on their first trip to Africa.
When you're going into the belly of the beast and you're going into Uganda, you're going into some deep, you know, situation that was the origins of everything, you know. We're gonna go find out, we're gonna go see, we're gonna go learn.
I hope you got your passports and vaccine shots. I'll take rappers on a field trip any day.
Me personally, I got to know like the original Rocksteady, like from Crazy Legs, Mr. Wiggles, Mr. Freeze. Those are the guys we've been looking at ever since, and it's unbelievable that we're going to meet them.
Got itself a new day. This is Africa. Hooray! TIA! TIA!
Words can't express how happy we are to see you here. Like, it's a dream come true. Everybody can't believe that the Rocksteady crew is in Uganda.
So we're definitely happy to be here.
Yeah.
The kids we deal with come from different backgrounds. Some come from intermediate families, others from poor families, others are uneducated, others are from, well, different backgrounds, different religions. And well, we saw that with dance, b-boying, breakdance, it's something that youth have a huge interest in. We saw it's something that will bring all those people together.
Yeah, it's important for us to let them know that, yo, this isn't just something that came out of America. This came out of the South Bronx. And the South Bronx at that time could have been any third world country. You know, and that's what we have in common, is the fact that we all come from shitty conditions. You know, we're born poor, and this didn't cost me anything as a child. Everything I wanted to do cost money, whether it be boxing, baseball, okay? Any sport that we want to do costs money, but this, you know, start doing your thing, you know? What they were doing there was just this massive practice session, and they wanted us to do the workshop there, and I found it crazy when we got there, and it was like whatever amount of people, like a huge amount of people in the auditorium or on stage, and I was like, yo, you know, this is too many people. I said, why don't you do this? Why don't you take half the people outside? And then he looks at me and goes, the other half is already outside. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy.
These are some of the members, but more people are still coming around. Like you can see, the space is not enough, but we still have to b-boy.
When I look at them and their approach to learning and their hunger and the way they're practicing, there's a certain innocence behind it that is missing from a lot of what I see these days. When we started dancing in the 70s, there was a lot of innocence behind what we did. And the mistakes that we made and the way we stumbled upon moves, it's kind of like watching myself growing up as a b-boy in hip-hop and having a love for it and appreciation for it that they did.
The group is fine, no quarrels, no hatreds. I feel good because they have taught me some strokes, the ones I never knew. I encourage him to bring some tools for us. Let him build some shelter for us where we can do our training from so that we can improve on our breakdancing in Uganda.
Shade used to come to the breakdance classes at the youth center, but just to watch. She wanted to do it, but she was always like scared and afraid. She thought it took a lot. And then she told me that she wanted to join, and I told her, you're very welcome. You know, as simple as that, and she was surprised. Like, you think I can really do it? I was like, yeah, you can do it. If you love it, you can do it. And then she kept on like practicing and practicing and practicing. And she, you know, started getting really good.
This is where I normally practice from. Those are the big girls. Maybe they can show you something. This is where I stay. My dad is a policeman. Police barracks is where policemen and women stay. Life here is not good at all, as you guys expect. The place where we stay is very bad. See, this is where I sleep. You can see the place is not in very good condition. We share with some other people. This is where they sleep. Yeah, that's my mom and daddy's bedroom.
Me being a civil servant, with police and the little salary we are getting is not enough to sustain us. The problem we are having is paying school fees for them has become so difficult. Always when we are passing through difficulties.
At times I sit home for 3, 4, 5 weeks without going to school, and I perform bad in class just because there is no school fees.
For the people that are finding it hard to raise money to go to school, we've started up a t-shirt, program where we print t-shirts, Breakdance Project Uganda t-shirts, and we sell them. So each t-shirt costs 15,000 Ugandan shillings. But we use 7,000 to make it, and then the 8,000 is the profit, and all of it goes to sending people back to school. And we've managed to send a number of them back to school now.
I'm gonna go pick up the kids for practice now.
I feel good for her to be a break dancer because it keeps her busy. Other friends of hers come to take her in the wrong directions, but this one is keeping her off from those wrong directions.
She also found another family away from home, and she looks at me as her big brother. And every time she tells you, every time I come here, I feel like it's a family. I feel like I have people who are always there for me.
My name is Shadia. I'm 15 years old and I'm a big girl.
Yeah. My tragedy's different, my life's deep, listen, got a bill, I'm limping, walk out of Hell's Kitchen, why bother cherishing, my past is everything.
The whole planet has embraced hip-hop culture. Hip-hop was never intended to be in one place.
The culture resonates everywhere, particularly the forgotten people everywhere. Society's attempted to bury them in, poverty or ignorance, and they're like, no. I live,
Every breaker respect others. Every breaker, even though they have just finished the battling, they can hug each other, showing that they're having the love of hip hop.
Oscar joined the breakdance project when he was 14 years. He used to try football and many other things, but people always used to kick him out because everyone said he was too weak to be. And he was so surprised that when he came to the project, he didn't know any breaking skill, but we gave him moves and he became a part of the program. And he's been very, very influential because he's been teaching a lot of other young people.
Yali kali kavubuka kansonyi nga kadembe takyalina nsonyi ennaku zino kubanga olaba azina n'amazina ago nali simanyi nti ayinza okuvaayo n'azina. Muli ndowooza agenda kuba mukubi wa bifaananyi na muzinyi ayina akirina mugundi era nkiraba nga akifulumya.
When I'm not b-boying or I'm not at school, I do drawing, like drawing graffiti in the book and some pictures like this, some breaking moves, the baby freeze. My name is Oscar. I am a b-boy.
I was shocked to find that we were in the main city and there was so much poverty. You see all these people just struggling, hustling, trying to get through their workday. With hip hop, at least, something is going on outside of the struggle. There's a way to, for them to kind of have some sort of recreation.
I think because the songs have a universal feeling of struggle and hope and overcoming the odds and so on. And so these are the stories that humanity is made of, and for that reason it connects wherever the music is heard.
Because I started rapping when I was still a kid. That was in 1992. That was when I watched a Tribe Called Quest performing live, and I watched them performing their song Check a Rhyme. I was like, well, I can rap, I didn't know a lot of English. So I could listen to the whole hip-hop song and I could just get like 1 to 5 words. But I held a toothbrush and I started rapping, check a rhyme, check a rhyme. And I felt like, I don't know, there's something about that moment. I really felt like I could rap. It was really violent in other places that me and him used to go to perform. And I realized that there was a point when we were stepping out like this and we realized, like we're in them. And these guys were like, hey, Abrams, Sylvester, what's up, man? You guys, we love your music. And they even forgot that anything was happening. A lot of people were just walking by, the people that they would have robbed. And they're like, yeah, we like your music. And when are you guys performing again? Because all of them loved it and all of them respected us. We didn't have energy to fight, but they knew that they could use their energy to guard the positive thing that we had. Most of the people don't do this because they want. They do this because they have no option, They have nobody to show them the right way. This is Kasubi, an area where me and my brothers and sister have been shown a lot of love. Right here is Mugerwa's barber shop, and we get free haircuts. They don't charge me and my brother at all. This is Paul, and this is his shop. He sells cassettes. Back then we didn't have a player, we didn't have where to play cassettes from and CDs. So we could come to his place and then he plays it and then we sit around here and listen to it. Many young people usually come up to me for advice because they got to understand that my history is very similar to what they're going through right now. And the fact that I also used to like hang in the slums, in ghettos, and that's where I found comfort. This also helps, draws these young people closer to me.
And they actually got to realize that we had a number of things in common, because they were surprised when I told them that I grew up without parents. Both of my parents died when I was 7 years. They're like, no, you don't look like an orphan. And then I told them, I asked them, how does an orphan look like, I personally grew up knowing that my mom died of typhoid. Like growing up, I just got to know it like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, because even most of our elder relatives were lied to. Everyone thought it was typhoid, like nobody knew.
At that time, there was too much stigma against the people suffering from HIV/AIDS. So no one could tell you exactly what they had died of. Not even in the hospital, they would hide a little. They would hide it. So that night when she died, she called so many times. I think she was calling.
She even used to call some of her uncles.
I want to talk to you. Come. That night she called so much.
Yeah.
So even our grandmother never allowed us to go to her room, because she thought, the other one is mad. And yet it was the hour when she was dying. So come morning time, she was already dead. And then grandma remembered that I think she was calling because she felt she was dying and she wanted to see her children. She wanted to look at them for the last time.
And I could really feel their absence, that they're not there anymore. Things were all different. I wasn't treated as good as I used to be treated when they were still alive. I lived with relatives, but still life wasn't as easy as it used to be. When we moved to Kasubi, our grandmom said that I'm only giving you a room to stay. No food, nothing, nothing totally, just a room, this room. We couldn't hang in these normal places where like other people used to hang, because we couldn't fit there. You can't even afford a meal, you can't even afford nothing. Like that's why all the places, the people that embraced us were the people from such communities, Kisenyi, Katwe, where like ghettos and slums.
Christ be the multitude, the only one loaf of bread. Christ be the multitude, the only one loaf of bread. Christ be the multitude, the only one loaf of bread. Christ be the multitude. Say, Christ be the multitude, the only one loaf of bread. Poor people, there is something for.
The Kisenyi ghetto in Kampala is like any ghetto in America, only more hopeless, more crowded, and with much less opportunity.
Mankind care not for his sisters anymore.
Open sewage flows between mud brick buildings as children run barefoot along muddy paths. Teenagers slump atop trash heaps, sniffing glue or jet fuel. There is nothing to do, so people do little.
I felt like I was in hell for a second. And has nothing to do with the people, but the conditions. And then I remember all the black, really dark gray mud that you had to step on and walk through. And then you see people walking around barefooted in that, see little kids sitting by the roadway or just playing with a machete.
This is the most notorious place in Kampala. Children here, you see, they are orphans. They don't have anybody to help them. They sleep outside. When rain comes, it finds them outside. They don't have food. They don't go to school. They don't have any help from the government. The daily work they do here is to collect these scraps. They sell them, they get 200 or 300 for survival. When they grow up, they start now changing from collecting scraps then to criminal activities. Yes.
You'll end up finding that everyone in the ghetto is positive in mind. They think of going to school, but they don't have way of going to school. They think of doing big business, but they have no capital and no one trusts them. And still we have kids who are growing in a good manner, not in the previous manner.
Like a lot of people didn't choose to live in the ghetto. I mean, you just find yourself being born here. You know, of course, they go into like criminal acts just because he has to pay rent, he has to buy a new shoe, he has to eat, he has to survive, not because he wants it so much. You know, so if they're given like something else to do, something positive to look up to, we believe that they can live a better life. Exactly.
Breakdance and hip hop here in the ghetto is one of the weapons that most of the youths want to use to speak out the truth, to speak out their points, you know, to tell the people what is deep in their hearts.
Welcome. Hip hop and culture. When we meet our crazy legs, Okubamu Rocksteady crew. This is history in the making. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
God give it to me, nobody is taking it. Therefore, moving on the basis stimulus. Standing in the twilight, I'm watching them get it in the walls, trembling in the air, simmering. She moving like more than the ears and listening. Whoa now, test to your equilibrium. Sonic wave booming all over your enemy. Skin on skin in, skin on skin again. Put it on, get it off, get on, get it in. Ladies and gentlemen, misters and mistresses, cause the uncle enter and synonyms. Here it is, Boogeyman. Huh. Simmer down, simmer down, simmer down now. Simmer down now, simmer down now. Simmer down, quiet dog, by heart, my God. Sit in the rocket, don't stop.
We've never had any sound system up there, so we always make the beats using bouncing cats. So like bouncing cats, and then the girls had to say baboons and cats. So we kept them going, bouncing cats, baboons and cats. So we created a beat out of that. So it kept on going like bouncing cats, baboons and cats, bouncing cats, baboons and cats. And it was a very nice rhythm that, helped us going whenever we didn't have like beats. And the kids seemed to love it a lot. And sometimes we go to places and the kids see us and they start bouncing cats, baboons and cats.
1, 2, 3, go! Bouncing cats, baboons and cats, bouncing cats, baboons and cats. Why not? Bouncing cats, baboons and cats, bouncing cats, baboons and cats, bouncing cats, baboons and cats. They're saying that they're happy that you at least spared time for them, and they say that what they don't want is this whole thing to stop here, They want us to come up with something sustainable in Kisenyi. So I don't know, that's a challenge to all of us as B-boys. Not only Crazy Legs, not only the Rocksteady crew, but all of us B-boys and all the hip-hop artists. The only thing we can do this is by joining our hands and starting a sustainable class in Kisenyi. Buli week, yeah? He wants to have a class and he wants to run every week. Buli day.
There is no start and stop point between life and art for us. It is the articulation of the breadless people is what that music is. And that in itself becomes bread. That reconciliation, that understanding, that feeling of communal agreement on the difficulties and the troubles and the hope and all of that is it's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful feeling that people get from that. And it comes oftentimes in times of struggle, in times of need, So it's not a practical thing and it's not a practical solution, but it is what ignites practical solutions.
You have to be careful because people take these sentiments closer to heart than people imagine. The people who create them, they think it's just amusement or catharsis, but this is really having another type of volume in somebody's life past the point that they hear it, you know, they absorb it. So, you know, if you're gonna have that type of impact on the world, you wanna just be putting bad Tylenol bottles out there on the shelves, you know? It's like people are gonna be taking this.
When I was teaching, I found it real difficult to be not happy, but to be able to express any kind of happiness that was in me, because I couldn't believe how bad things were for them. It's like, God damn, man, this is more shit going on here.
As Crazy Legs leaves Kissimmee, a large line forms for rice that has been donated by a local organization. There is not enough to go around, and the situation quickly gets out of hand. This desperation for the most basic necessities is all too common in Kissimmee.
As bad as things seem in the south, they are far, far worse in the north.
Years of fighting has left scars on the land and people of northern Uganda, which will take generations to heal. No one knows for sure, but more than 30,000 children are believed to have been captured by the Lord's Resistance Army and turned into child soldiers.
There's always been the big gap between northern Uganda and the other regions of Uganda. The people there, most of them feel like the war doesn't affect them in any way because, I mean, Kony is not in Kampala, it's not in Mbarara, it's not in most of the other districts. So that was the big gap, and the people in northern Uganda were suffering all by themselves. So we were brainstorming because we've been doing like bridging different gaps in Kampala, like different gaps between the literates and illiterates, and like gaps between the advantaged and disadvantaged. And then we were like, yeah, but you know, we read the news every day, we watch TV, what can we do? I mean, it's our responsibility. And at first it sounded like a crazy idea. Many people told us that if you go to northern Uganda, you're dead, you know? That's the reason why most of the people from Kampala don't even come to Gulu, because they know that, I mean, the moment you're here, you're dead.
In the early 90s, that is when he started abducting kids. I think someone came with an idea that you have to abduct these children so that you get the forces. Just imagine you have your baby and it's gone, you don't even have a history of where it is. Either you get abducted, you kill your father before you leave, you know, that kind of thing, or you kill your mother before you leave, so you have no hope. And then you become more violent in the bush, and then you rather come forcefully and even do it better than the one who abducted you. No LRA should come back and tell you that I did not kill.
Jolie Grace Okot was among the first group of Gulu youth to be abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army 23 years ago. Nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, today she is the country director for Invisible Children, as well as the founder and director of HEALS, the Health, Education, Arts, Literacy, Sports program.
I know of stories of girls who got abducted by commanders, and right there and then they became wives of the commanders when they were only like 11 years old. And when they became a wife, they get pregnant at the age of 12, 13. Here is a girl who first of all disappeared. The parents didn't know whether they're there, and now she has come back with a kid. How do you accept a kid that you don't even know the father? You know, like you don't know even what happened. So the fact that your daughter never had a future in life as well, and the fact that your daughter has come back with a kid, and the fact that your daughter was a former soldier, and the fact that you know at the back of your mind that your daughter has been a killer makes the people very uncomfortable. They were all in a state of being very hopeless. There was nothing.
Anya Tim Alfred, I think my party, Ake Guru. A bear one a mare, a bear to uncle up, get to a mare to come with you. Tak me bear at the pan, Yamakan Jim, Mamma, Nick.
Mother passed away, the father passed away. Therefore, he became an orphan. He, as being an orphan, I think the only thing, the first thing I may say is school, education, so that he can read and be what he wants. He wants to meet his predictions. Now, Uganda, education is now very expensive. You still learn for education, then you remain without a land, you see, but he's trying. It's number 2, number 4, number 6, number 1, out of 100.
And I'm a market, I'm a bero, doctor. A mere bero doctor, and the mere bero. Dama thing, Dama gang, can paint Kimero, walk my bag, yacht come.
You see, we have problems about that. Because me, at the moment, I'm sick. I have HIV. I myself, at the moment, I'm working. In fact, I work part-time. That is me. I look at him like a son of mine. So I'm trying to help him where necessary. When I'm still around. But when I die, I don't know. You see?
Mèo về dùng giống cái nó mà cái mạng cái này giống cái trò cái lùm của nó giống cái nào cái là cái mà para apa là đó mà cái trò cái găng cái giờ cái nào chết là cũng đã bỏ lại mà cái này bear dulu chết rồi trò bear mà cũng dulu cũng ngoài cũng đuổi cái karena ganan berkata melalui batangnya area aja borok kamu bawa bagang lantai kilometer.
Children who fled from LRA abduction on a daily basis were known as night commuters. Thousands of children took refuge in hospitals in urban areas. Only recently could they sleep in their own beds comfortably.
Obe karena wajah obor kono uri peka malam ada ini kuat ada. Ada gani kadang kujudu, Uganda bedang, Wambulu bedang, idang biasa. Aku ada biboy, no Amerika wah, peri biboy wah. Tua wako loko po pedang pene tua kilo dondo wako dang ni dia maduong kitong wilu idang yomo bertin anya Tim Alfred ati ma apa beje pana tibi boy
These are kids who have experiences they never should have had, who are now in a position where they must live with these experiences. And how do you live with something of that nature? We don't know the answers to this. And so what it is it becomes person specific. So I don't think that there is a blanketed kind of therapeutic blanket that can wrap all these children and fix their personal scenarios. But I do think there are things that they have in common. They're young, they have that in common. And there's a certain art form in music and sound, which they collectively like. That's another connection.
Abrams ventured to northern Uganda at a time where few Southerners dared to go there. Armed only with compassion and determination, Abrams risked his life in the hope of uniting the children of Uganda through dance and hip-hop culture. He has taken Crazy Legs on this journey to northern Uganda with the hope of further developing his goal.
Break dancers from the US are here, and they're coming to teach at Hills. So you should come and learn from them because they're much better than us. They're the people that inspired the people that inspired us. So you should come and have a class from them. Do you think you're going to come? Do you still remember some phrases? Can you show me something here? Wow, nice. You're still good, man. So see you in the evening, don't forget.
If you look at hip-hop, it's something neutral, you know? It's not a culture that belongs to the tribes in the central. It's not a culture that belongs to the tribes in northern Uganda. So that's why I think that it's actually easier using hip-hop because it's something neutral. It doesn't belong to any of us.
In different countries of Africa, there's different forms of sound and music that you can find that makes you think, I mean, I can see the connection of hip-hop right there. I mean, Somalia, there is a poet named Ares Isa Karshe. He used to take the one rhythm pattern of a drums, and you know, boom, kaboom, 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 kaboom. Until the lion learns to speak, the tales of hunting will be weak. My poetry hails within the streets. My poetry fails to be discreet. That's from him. And you know what I mean? And so you hear hip-hop late 70s and 80s, you're like, oh, it's brand new. But there's a reason why it spoke to me.
Until the lion learns to speak, the tales of hunting will be weak. My poetry hails within the streets. My poetry fails to be discreet. It travels across the earth and seas, from Eritrea to the West Indies. It knows no boundaries, no cheese. It's studied in parts of Greece.
They don't recognize that it is an African origin. All they know is a Western thing or is an American thing. Because some of them watch like breakdancing on television, but then when you realize that they can also make the same move, it has lifted their spirit, and now they feel like we are all the same. It doesn't matter where I come from.
Nice. So how often do you guys watch these videos? So do you realize that you can also create your own stuff?
Yeah.
You don't have to do exactly what you see in this video. Because when I go to B-boy, like sometimes I use like traditional dance moves. Not only from my tribe, from the Uganda tribe, no, everywhere. You know, I pick from everywhere, from like Eastern Uganda to like Isu, everywhere. Like that's why it's nice to, be more creative. We need to see that Gulu flavor. When people look at B-boys in Kampala and look at B-boys in Gulu, they need to see a difference.
That's a good thing about hip-hop, if somebody knows what hip-hop is really about. It's always about being true to yourself. You learn something and then you incorporate, your culture and, where you come from. That's what makes you different as a hip-hop artist. That's what I was even telling the kids, that you don't have to be like me. You can even be much better than me. If I can do this move and you can do it and put it together with your traditional dance, you probably do something that I can't do, and you have your own identity as a person. You'll be a b-boy, but then they'll be like, okay, that's a Muganda b-boy, that's a Munyankole b-boy, and that's an Acholi b-boy. I asked them if they wanted to learn b-boying or breakdance. They're like, yeah, right now we want to learn. And I told them that, okay, this is it. It's going to be an exchange. You're going to teach me your traditional dance, and I'm going to teach you how to break dance. So that's how it all started. And then I told them that, okay, it's not only about teaching me, but it's also about teaching all your friends who are from a different tribe.
Basically, this is a dance for the youth. Long time ago, this is how, you know how now like people get engaged by like going in a certain community. But those days you would recognize all the Chole people used to recognize how hardworking, how talented a girl is by the way she dances. And then you also recognize as a boy that this is the boy I want to live with because of how talented he is. So this is what we call a courtship dance. So that is where you pick a partner, you know, like...
You know what's funny? When we dance as kids, it was to get the attention of the girls. Nothing's changed.
I know nothing has changed.
I saw them dancing to those rhythms in Gulu, and I was like, wow, this is dope. This shit is crazy, man. They were hitting all these different beats, and to me as a b-boy, I was like, yeah, this is the origins right here. And what they were doing was hundreds of years old. It was the first time that I saw in abundance a sense of expression, their own expression, something that they have internally. And watching them put that much energy into those performances was very much needed. I needed that so much at that point, because that's what helped me get through the rest of the trip.
In response to the LRA, the Ugandan government forced 2 million people into so-called protected camps, but there was nothing protected or safe about them. At various points, more than 1,000 people died per week from violence, starvation, and disease. 20 years of war has driven 2 million people from their homes, and several 100,000 civilians still remain in these camps. In 2005, the Ugandan military pushed the LRA out of northern Uganda. Joseph Kony and his child soldiers fled to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and to this day, continue to expand their wave of terror. With the threat of Kony's return, it is impossible for the people of northern Uganda to feel at ease.
The area around Kitgum has suffered terribly. One of the doctors showed us around.
These are the victims.
John Ochola is a living testament to the cruelty of the rebels.
His nose cut off with leaves, both ears and the hands.
My name is Ochola John, 25 years old. My wife's name is Auma Grace, and my children, Anua Alfred, Oberutima and Ratima down. Kima an, Lima Alatit, Awuma Chatwane, no Maduata, and Kidong Tian Mukanama, Bera Pagani. ang wicha ni ja in ku no wa tem ku no sira ana ling dong kan jong kwanya chia ma go tu ye kwere kan go cho war ga go mi bora nya ne go du ga no gan wa chal war ga ne bot mo wa ni gi deg mo no gi lo na chul ka ka no go mi war ga no hi da ho wo ka no da ko an bero yu par market mano wan ke gi pian ngoma gu bera te mena git pengeo pol kare beri ni angels gite mi ko te kam ono atikat atama ni kachia kwana computer ma beri ngechi ye change rama konya anken manana kere no for one or two lok no kuchika kara kuch beri tie na beri ka shield kin me no beri ni no kino ma raj no beri pe Honi be tamma parach gin elni tamme kelo kuj bene ken dano kan gin elni no mana yang bene fote jom kan ngeo chino elni be bene me ve badano
When we got to that camp, they welcomed us with a dance, which was again beautiful, but I just felt like I don't deserve this. So many things run through your mind at that time, and you wonder, like, these people need water, these people need shelter, they need food, you know, they're living off of these minuscule basic necessities in life. You know, it makes me feel like, you know, compared to them and what they have to go through, my life is easy and simple.
My name is Mr. Bonyo.
Mr. Bonwai.
I'm gonna get it. Yeah. Oh, Bonyo YY.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
What about you?
Legs, crazy legs. Everyone calls me. I'm a dancer.
Dancer.
So yes, but everyone calls me legs. You know, it's like the legs.
Okay.
Good dancer.
Yeah. Thank you. So I get to see a cassava.
So let's go see your cassava.
Cassava.
Yeah. Let's go.
Anybody from there? Oh, but they are not working like that one. We are the one. Now we are coming to a teacher to teach any people.
I don't understand. What do you say?
Okay, the point is that because a lot of people have been reliant on food aid for so long, you know, they just get given their food.
Right.
There's a whole kind of group of sort of 5 to 7 or 8 years of people who don't know how to look after their land. They're not good agriculturalists. So he's saying that he's teaching
to become
people to
self-sufficient.
become self-sufficient and to go back to farming again.
Yeah.
There's no problem, you can't enter.
So what do you sleep on? Oh, in there. Okay. Oh, baby. I see the
Is
baby.
it your baby?
Yeah.
Oh. Sweet. How old is she?
She's 3 months. 3 months.
3 months. Oh, she's tiny. She's beautiful. She's a bonny baby. And so you eat that once a day? There's no protein in what they've got there. How many times do you have food?
2 times.
2 times in the morning?
Lunch and then supper.
Lunch and supper. The amount of food is drying up because there's a general sort of cereal wheat crisis around the world, so it's more expensive to buy wheat. And secondly, because it's moving into a peace process, it's no longer an emergency situation, so they're not getting the same level of food that they were getting before. And the baby, has the baby had vaccinations?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, that's good. That's good.
Looking at everything that's been going on or that has happened, me being here, I feel like I'm intruding. I just want to know how you feel about us coming here to visit you. Are you worried about we're here to exploit you or anything like that?
No, I feel good.
Yeah.
You come and see where we are staying.
I feel like I had, as a child, a very hard life, but I come over here and I see babies, little kids working hard as if they're grown, they're already grown. And that's what's amazing. It's that over here there's life, but I look at it as like there's no life, but then you look at a child and when they're dancing and you see life, all the life that's in them. And to me, it's and that's why I ask, do you feel like we're here to exploit you? Because I would hate that. It just makes me angry.
If people really have a heart, come back to the people and find out what is the way forward, what is the best solution. If someone doesn't have a good intention of helping the people, then don't document them. Because then we become like, you know, like for example, like going to a San Diego Zoo and then taking a picture of an animal, coming and placing it on your refrigerator, and that is it. You admire, oh, I went and saw that giraffe in San Diego Zoo, and that is it. These are human beings like you. We have the same blood, it's on a color which is different. Come and figure out a way of helping.
Kind of covered, but not all by one organisation.
How long does it take to fill up one of these?
No, should we do one?
About 50 seconds. Yeah, I'll do one. Yeah, let me do some more. There you go. Sorry now. This is not clean, but
Breakdance Project Uganda has made a lot of progress in northern Uganda, but we thought and felt that there was a need to reach out to more other young people who couldn't make it to Hills. So that's why Melissa talked to the Gulu Youth Center and we managed to get space there.
One of the needs that I observed in discussing with the children was that they wanted access to more information around sexually transmitted infections. They were asking questions like, what is gonorrhea? What is chlamydia? How do you get it? And the Gulu Youth Center is a place that provides that type of information as well as those types of services. So by having breakdance classes at the Gulu Youth Center, these kids are coming to a place that is providing them with information and services that they need, and hip-hop is getting them there.
People in the north think that we, the people in the south, don't really care about what's going on up there. So by introducing this hip-hop program and have them even coming together to exchange, and this will also help bridge that gap.
All I knew about the north is only war, and to see that they love hip-hop as much as I do, it was inspiring.
Big boy, well, I know the rem kitchen, well, a mile rem, no down patwang.
For the last 6 months, Breakdance Project Uganda has been sending 2 people every week to teach. Shadia, she knew that we were going to Gulu to do the classes. she was like, hey, I need, like every time she used to call me, I want to go to Gulu, I want to go to Gulu. And she went to Owino Market. Owino Market is a second-hand market downtown. It's where all of us go to buy like cheap clothes. And she bought 4 tops for girls that were plain. And she told me, you need to print the BPU logo on these ones. I just bought them for the kids in Gulu. You need to print them and send them up there. And I was so moved and touched because she doesn't have a job. And many people even can even go and afford to buy like new shirts, but nobody ever thinks about it. I was very moved and touched. We had a show last week, a breakdance back to school competition, and it was 50 kids that signed up, and it was very inspiring.
Breakdance Project Uganda uses breakdance and hip hop to empower and uplift young people. We're using breakdance to build young people's self-esteem, bridge gaps between the rich and the poor. So yeah, now we're in Gulu. We're working with Gulu Youth Center now, and it's happening.
We're beginning with our team Alfred. These are the advanced stepping. Don't sweat the technique, son. When we are saying it's just dance, do that dance. No longer beginning to do that dance. Let's raise your hands and check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. You drop your hands to MCs, get weight for that. It's free to sweat the technique.
It's nothing more important for an artist than to have the opportunity to display your talent. It's very gratifying, it's empowering, and it gives you more confidence when you feel the audience responding to you in a positive way.
The people from Kampala were so much impressed by the kids from Gulu, because they could see the seed that they saw growing. Because this has been their effort and energy to go out there and share, grow. And they were also making noise every time these kids used to pull out moves. We all used to make noise, like It was so amazing to see them. It was very powerful. It was very powerful.
Made them really excited. It gave them an opportunity to show their community what they've been doing, sort of show off what they've been learning. And everybody got a gift bag with like pens and pencils, and we had larger gifts for the bigger prizes, such as a bicycle was the grand prize, and that's something in this community which is very important because it's the main means of transportation for most families. We tried to make sure that every child that participated in the project came away with something, so everybody got a BPU t-shirt that was a special Gulu edition that had like Gulu on the sleeve to let them know that they're now part of Breakdance Project Uganda, that Breakdance Project Uganda is in Kampala, but it's now in Gulu.
So, John.
Yeah.
Which part of the show did you like the most?
I like breaks dance, like this.
Yeah, puffing. Nice.
Yeah, puffing. Yeah.
First, you can just like cross your legs and back. Just to try. You cross and bring it back. Cross, bring it back. Cross. So even if you're sitting, you can still dance.
Yeah.
So dancing, you can dance however you want.
If you teach me,
you can learn.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. And then it goes back, and then it goes back, and then it goes back. Oh. Born to a throne, stronger than Rome, but violent prone, poor people's zone. But it's my home, all I have known. Where I got grown, streets we would roam. Out of the darkness, I came the farthest. Among the hardest.
You go like, is it? It works. Let's try it. Your step. You came up with it. 1, 2, 3. You thought it was a mistake, but it can be a nice step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. And then it goes back.
When we use the language like helping Africa and so on, I think we discredit Africa in that sense, because it's not a place where people are in this position of victimhood. We don't feel that way about ourselves. No matter how dire the situation, we feel like we're reformers, and we feel like we're hopeful people. And that's what sustains the African sentiment, the African mentality. And this is why art is born, and this is why jazz is born, and this is why hip-hop is born. And therefore, when hip-hop comes back to it, it owes it. It doesn't provide service of help. It owes Africa.
Just like a waving flag.
We used to admire a lot of people, a lot of Ugandans who live outside of here, because they come back and tell us, yes, it's a very good life out there. It's like heaven on earth. So, everyone needs to ever get a chance to live out there. So we all used to be like, man, I wish I could ever get on the plane. And I'm the type of person who never ever thought that I would even ever get on a plane out of Uganda. I have got a number of opportunities to go to Denmark to start a new life, to go out there, maybe get a job, get a nice job out there, meet people, But then I thought about all the people that all the people that I inspired, all the people that I used to tell that, be proud of your home, be proud of where you come from, whether it's a ghetto or slum, that's who you are. You just need to develop it. And I also feel good if I can contribute a lot to the people down here. Because the truth is, if I go out there, there's not a lot that I can contribute to Denmark, to the people, Danish people. But there's a lot that I can contribute to the Ugandan people and the Ugandan communities. The Breakdance Project has been growing so huge, which has made us so proud and happy. But of course, every time you grow, you face more challenges, because we get so many numbers coming around, and most of them have to be sent back by the people that run the youth center, because there's too many and we don't have space enough to have them there anymore. So that's why right now we really believe that we need to have our own youth center.
Community centers that have technology in them, internet, mobile, wireless, that's power. And that's when you see the beginning of change.
We want to connect our members with different artists from around the world using the internet. So we have set up things like MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, and email addresses. They have been able to exchange ideas and culture with these artists, and they've also got so much information that we never knew we had access to. What we're doing is actually beyond hip-hop. To us, the most important thing is what we achieve through b-boying and hip-hop as a culture. If people can learn computer skills through b-boying, I think it's also nice. They don't have to be b-boys, but they can also benefit from the sweat of the b-boys. This is something that I've worked for almost the whole of my life, using hip-hop to uplift communities. I see a lot of people that are going through what I went through as a kid, so I really feel like I need to be there for the community and, empower people, build their self-esteem, help them, use their creativity and talents and live a better life. So I really feel like I have a lot of unaccomplished work here to do.
And any man who knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. And every time I felt the hurt and I felt the giving getting me up off the wall.
I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breeze. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe.
How did Mandela get the will to surpass the everyday when injustice had him caged and trapped in every way? How did Gandhi ever withstand the hunger strikes and all? Didn't do it to gain power or money, if I recall, it's the gift. I guess I'll pass it on, mother things to the lift.
The bottom line is that the struggle continues, the mission continues, and everyone just has to do their part. And all I can do is do my part. And if that means me personally making sure that I put a well into one of those communities, at the very least, you know, it's like, I just gotta do what I can.
Me write this by showing me to give is priceless. And any man who knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. And every time I felt the hurt and I felt the giving getting me up off the wall.
If I grow up, I would like to build up projects of my own, but branches of Breakdance Project Uganda. I also have a dream of buying a Breakdance Project bus.
All I can say is the words.
I don't bother people hating me of being a b-boy because I love it. I do it for the love of hip-hop.
Yeah, you and Brian are the b-boy. You're my man, me and me young twin. Wow, one very yacht, well, but soon will.
It ain't easy coming out of where we from, homie. And it's the reason why I can never play for me. Tell them the truth is what my dead homies told me. Ooh yeah, I take inspiration from the most heinous of situations.
Only be time of garage, any time make a quick better, you can done.
I really feel like strength of hip hop every time I meet these people, and I know it has helped us also explore other things. But if it hadn't been for hip hop, I wouldn't have known all these wonderful people.
I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe.
I'm not a politician, so I'm not gonna use politics. I'm not a soldier, so I'm not gonna hold a gun. I'm a b-boy.
Nothing is perfect, man, that's what the world is. All I know is I'm enjoying today. You know, cause it ain't every day that you get to give.
And any man who knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. And every time I felt the hurt and I felt the giving getting me up off the wall. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe.
I ain't got nothing to complain about. You know where I'm from, you know where I'm at, so you know I'm flying high.
Take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe.
Cholengelwa mtijana nyanja chaphantu matsangatsanga ethi HIV etsithi mwili ochokera kwa